Hello everyone. Good evening. Can we all hear me?
Yes, good evening.
All right, good evening. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to class. We are going to be starting the session right about now. We are currently in week 2 of the JIIPCC Mentorship and Internship program for please give me a moment. I'm trying to just get into set up. All right, so sorry about that. So welcome to class again. Like I said, we're in week 2. We are in week 2 of the JIIPCC Mentorship and Internship program. And our topic for today is music business and law. In the last class, we treated entertainment. We treated entertainment. We treated sorry moments. In the last class, we treated film business and law. Now we'll be talking about music business and law. And just like we did in the last session, we started off with introduction of our mentors. And then from there on, we moved to presentations from our mentors. Then we had feedback from mentors. And then we also had questions and answers. And so we'll be taking that progression again in today's session. So not to waste our time, just to introduce our mentors in today's class. Sorry. Okay, our first mentor in today's session, we are expecting to have, she was supposed to be in the last class, if I'm not mistaken, but we expect to have her in today's class. She was a bit under the weather last week, so we hope she's all better and will be able to join us today. For today's class, we are expecting to have Miss Amanda Uzoagba. Miss Amanda Ineoma Uzoagba is an entertainment lawyer, award-winning author, entertainment executive slash consultant, public speaker, and legal educator. She holds a law degree from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, and was called to the bar in 2017. She is currently the head of licensing West Africa at ndombo.com, as a Pan-African music service company where she oversees licensing operations within West Africa, particularly Ghana and Nigeria. Amanda has facilitated many events, conferences, and webinars targeted at educating entertainers, entrepreneurs, and creatives on the protection of their intellectual property rights works. She has more than 8 years of experience in the entertainment industry, starting as a blogger and a PR consultant in the entertainment industry. In the entertainment industry, starting as a blogger and a PR consultant for record label, before she was called to the Nigerian bar. As an entertainment business executive, she has facilitated and negotiated over $5 million involving catalog sales, endorsement deals, branding, licensing, distributions, publishing deals, recording deals, live events, and so on, for an array of artists, record labels, and investors, as well as helping them navigate the complex legal landscape of the music business. She has also worked on more than 45 productions exhibited in theaters, film festivals, and international streaming platforms. She has also worked on a variety of co-productions, development, and production deals with international studios such as Netflix, Sony Pictures, BBC, Westbrook, AMC, Amazon Prime, Green Door Production, etc. In 2019, Amanda launched her consultancy firm called Goodwill Consults, a boutique consulting firm that focuses on the entertainment and creative business providing a range of services related to business aspects of entertainment industry. Her diverse background and extensive experience makes her a prominent figure in the intersection of law and entertainment industry in Nigeria and across the world. Sorry. Okay, I think we have a mixed up here. We are supposed to have a second mentor. I'm just going to read his profile of my own board. There's a little bit of mix up in the flyers that I set up for today. Sorry, please just give me a moment. Give me a moment. I would shortly drop his flyer. Okay, our sector mentor for today is Mr. Kabir Adeyemo. Mr. Kabir Adeyemo is a life of a testament of the power of vision, dedication, and excellence. From a young age, Mr. Kabir demonstrated an innate leadership ability, inspiring those around him with a sense of purpose and responsibility, equal evidence from childhood with his passion for law and justice, a dream he pursued with unrelenting determination. Guided by this ambition, Mr. Kabir enrolled to study law at the prestigious University of Ilorin, where his intellectual prowess and leadership potential flourished. During his time at the university, he actively participated in various leadership roles, demonstrating his ability to unite and inspire his peers. In 2021, he graduated with a degree in law, making a significant milestone in his journey towards becoming a legal practitioner. Building on his success, Kabir proceeded to the Nigerian Law School, where his commitment to excellence accumulated in his graduation with first-class honors. This remarkable achievement solidifies his reputation as one of the most promising legal minds of his generation. Beyond his academic credential, Kabir has continued to whet his professional expertise by acquiring certifications that enhances his knowledge and skills, ensuring that he continues to offer the most advanced and quality legal service to his clients and the society at large. Kabir's professional career, particularly as an entertainment lawyer, has been nothing short but exemplary. He has carved a niche for himself by working with some of the most prominent figures in the legal space and entertainment industry. Mr. Kabir's profile is on the main group, so we don't have to worry. You can just follow up and read about Mr. Kabir, the rest of Mr. Kabir. I can already see him on the call. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. We are happy to have you in today's session. I don't want to waste any further time, and I just want us to go straight into the business of the day. All right, so we will start off firstly with having presentations from our mentors, like I earlier said, and then we'll move on to presentations for the mentees. So while our mentors are making their presentations, please, for our mentees, we can kindly just get ready on the side. We can kindly just get ready on the side so that we can make our presentation when it is time to. I'll be calling on Mr. Kabir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. We're happy to have you in session. Sorry, I could not display your flyer um, on these. I could not share your flyer on the call. Sorry about that. My sincere apologies. So please, I would just like to hear from you. Just help us run through our topic for today. Give us your presentation, what you have prepared for us in today's session. Our topic for today is music business and law, and I'm sure you have prepared something wonderful for us in regards to this sector. So please, sir, in the next 30 minutes, we would like to hear from you, share your thoughts on the music industry. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Kabir, are you with us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was muted. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kabir Adeyemo, and I'm so glad to be amongst you guys today. I hope you guys are doing so great. And pardon me if I don't have any slide or any presentation to show you guys. I'll just be touching on a couple of things to to enlighten you. Of course, I know that I'm very assured that you have been learning a lot of things with JIPCC, and I'm glad that you have the opportunity and the initiative to even apply and to register to be here. So jumping right in, I mean, the theme of today is music and business, right? So I'll just be speaking to some couple of things to note in the music industry and the music law, especially music business and the music law, especially. So as law students, you all know that okay, you are supposed to know that you have intellectual property as a course in laws in your undergraduate level, right? And um, intellectual property covers several forms. We have the copyright, we have the trademark, we have a patent, we have industrial design, we have geographical location, and so many of them, right? But when it comes to music industry, it's not like all these other ones might not be applicable, but the most applicable one of all these forms is the copyright. In so many ways, the trademark also comes into place because there are sometimes that the creative that you are working with, especially the artist or the producer, the songwriter, maybe a record label, they could carve out a name that, oh, this is the name that I'm going to use. I'm going to build my career around, and along that building or uh, along the line, they might need to make sure that that particular name that they are building around themselves, they want to be the only one answering it. So that's why it is very important for them to trademark their name so that it's going to box or put them in a box where it excludes every other person from having access to the usage of that particular name. But speaking to copyright, especially, copyright is one that um, is more applicable into music, just like I mentioned earlier. And when you look at copyright, especially in music, there are two forms of it. We have the musical work and we have the sound recording. So the musical work, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the musical work is the one that says, okay, you as a creative or you as a contributor, you as a songwriter, your contribution, whether in form of lyrics, melody, uh which other one now? Composition basically is going to be protected, is your intellectual property, and or the other form, which is a sound recording, that is the actual recording of that particular work, is protected or is owned by someone else. So you have to, as law students taking this particular course or trying to like build a knowledge in music law, you have to know the distinct between the composition part and the sound recording part. Who are the owners of each of these sites? Is it possible for one person to own both rights? Is it possible for another person to collect the income even though they don't own the rights? So, for example, now let's say I think the biggest collaboration right now, let's say with you by Davido and Omale. So let's say Davido is a songwriter, Omale is a songwriter, but on that particular record, with you, Omale was the one that wrote all the verse, the chorus, and everything. So on the composition side now, they might be saying, okay, because Omale wrote everything, so ordinarily he's supposed to be entitled to almost everything as a songwriter. But because we are in Nigeria, so it won't be possible for Davido, who has the leverage and some sort of status as an artist, to give him everything because he's the one that wrote the whole verses and the whole thing. So they have to like share it. But because Omale wrote larger parts of or almost everything on that particular record, he's going to be getting a higher percentage on like the percentage that will be allotted to Davido. So all these are the things that you have to be very careful about while you are representing your artist or your producer, make sure that you are always you're always asking them questions, because most of the times you're not in the room when they are recording, and it's just best for you to ask them questions. Oh, were you the only producer? Was another producer there? Did another producer contribute to that particular production? How many songwriters was in the room? Were you the only one that wrote the song? To what extent was your contribution to that particular song? So all these questions form your opinion as a music lawyer to know what rights your client holds as a songwriter, as a producer, or as an artist. So also you have to be very careful as to the when you are trying to advise your client as to maybe the types of royalties that are there. You have to know, okay, the difference between mechanical royalties and master's royalty. I think there has been some sort of misconception with respect to that over time. So if any of you, or I don't know if any of you are aware about what publishing is. Publishing speaks to the composition part of it, and composition is one side and sound recording is on that side, right? So composition only deals with the lyrics, the melodies, the what else is there? Basically, the writing of that particular song. So that is the part of the publishing. So any income that is generated from the exploitation of the lyrics or the melodies on digital platform or physical form is what is called mechanical royalty. But any income that is generated from the digital exploitation of that particular masters, because it is possible for you to have a particular recording of have several recordings of a single work. You can do do re mi fa sol la ti do, and that's a recording, right? You can do that same do re mi fa sol la ti do and tweak the way you are going to record it and have another entire recording, right? So it's possible for you to say the same thing, but record it in a different ways, in different ways. So it's only right for you as a music player to be able to know that, okay, this particular recording, these are the contributors to this particular recording. This is the share on composition. This is share on masters. Who owns that particular recording? That is, who owns that particular masters? Who are the owners of the underlying compositions? The person that wrote that particular Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti. What is he getting on the publishing side of it? Okay, this particular um work, this particular lyrics, is there another lyric recording for it? The person that wrote that particular recording, is he going to still be collecting anything from the second recording? So you as a music player should be able to like avoid your mind whenever all these instances come up. Also, I think with respect to licensing, so when you know that, okay, your client is the songwriter and there's a record out there with you, and that particular record is being used in a particular movie, video game, and the rest, you have to approach your client where you contacted with respect to the usage of this particular work, because most of these songwriters don't even know that, oh, they wrote a particular song and it's another artist that's performed it. So because I am Kabir now, I wrote with you, but because Davido and Omale were the ones that performed it. So the person that wants to use that particular record now went to meet Davido and Omale and cleared with them without reaching out to me. So that is and they went ahead to use that particular song. So it's going to be an infringement to my own rights because I'm also a contributor to that particular song. So it's always advisable for you as lawyers to just be up and going, make sure that the interest of your client, know the interest of your clients, and be as knowledgeable as you can be. I mean, just be more knowledgeable than your clients if you can, because the moment your client sees that you are not as knowledgeable as they think you should be, they will just drop you and move to another person. So licensing in that regard, you have to make sure that you are protecting the interest of your clients. You are you are protecting the allotted percentage that your client is entitled to on that particular song. If your client is entitled to 30 percentage and the budget of that particular record is $1,000, so your client should be getting like that's $300 or so. So just make sure that you're always following up with all your client's catalog. And what else? What else is there? I mean, there are so many things. Enforcement of all these when there's an issue, of course, how do you enforce it? So we have several ways to enforce. Although the traditional ways before was you can just go to apply to courts, make sure that you apply for an injunction, court injunction, so that the distribution of the unauthorized maybe records or musical works is going to be stopped, and you are going to be entitled to receiving a particular compensation for all the incomes that has been generated before or prior to the injunction was issued. So all that, but now we have something called the takedown request to maybe streaming platforms or any platform at all where the musical work is commercialized. So that way you get to just apply to that particular streaming platform, maybe Spotify, Apple Music, and the rest. That okay, this particular work was released without my authorization, and I want it to be taken down. So that is one of the powers that you have as a creative, as a contributor to a particular musical work. So uh, I mean, I believe, I think I will just take questions from here. I really didn't prepare something concrete. I just wanted to come here to discuss.
Oh, all right, sir. No problem. We'll be taking this as your introduction into today's topic. So I apologize for not letting us know, but we are supposed to have another mentor on this call. That is Mr. Tokwe Salami. He said he'll be joining a little bit late, so when he comes on board, he will also join the discussion that we have on ground. But seeing that Mr. Kabir has helped us run through introductions for this particular for this particular introductions for this particular topic, that is the music business and law. We will continue on after the presentations for the mentees with mentors' contributions if they have other things to say. And then when it's time for questions, we can have that discussions and dialogue, and we can get more from our mentors as it regards to topic. So not to waste any time, I would like to call on I would like to call on the group presenters for group one and two to start up their presentation with Mr. Kabir being on call. Once our other mentors are able to join in, we'll be taking also their discourse and also their feedback, so that we'll be taking also their discourse and their feedback. So please, we'd like to get to that group one presenter. If you are ready, kindly do all to share your slides while Mr. Karbi waits on to listen to your presentation, and then he will come back later on to give feedback. So the presenter for group one, if you are with us, kindly do well to turn on your or share your slides, like I said, and start your presentation. And after group one is done, we take group two's presentation, and then back to Mr. Kabir. Um, where is our presenter for group one? Do we have our presenter with us?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Please
Yes,
permit
good.
me, I will be able to share the slide from my side. So somebody from group one will be sharing the slide.
All right, that's fine. So please, the person who is supposed to help share slides, please go ahead and do that.
Okay. Um, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'll be speaking on music business and law. So just like an introduction, the concept of law is a global heritage that goes beyond and transcends in entertainment. And what is this entertainment now? Entertainment is like a form of activity that holds the attention and interest of an audience. While the slide is being shared, I'll just continue because of time. So, entertainment is a form of activity that holds the attention and interest of the people that listens to song, people that listens to that watch film, the audience generally. So, entertainment is a form of activity that holds the attention and interest of an audience and gives pleasure and delight. So, what is music now? Music is the act that combines reading and sound to form a functional melodic line. So my name is Courage Omolawale Ajayi, presenting on behalf of Group 1 on the topic Music, Business and Law. So I was speaking first on the introduction of this music, business and law. So music goes beyond entertainment, as I said earlier. So when you think about music, you think about the likes of your favorite artists like Davido, your gospel artists, your you think about Dusin Oyekon, you think about Whiskey, you think about Mr. Easy and the likes. So, however, the success in music is not just about the talent; it also depends on law and business. So moving forward, many Nigerian artists have faced challenges because of big contracts, unclear ownership, rights, and some have even lost control of their music catalogs, stage names, and earnings, all because they didn't like understand the legal side of the industry. They just believe that okay, you don't release, don't to produce their music out there. They don't care about copyright infringement. Please, I hope we are all following me. It don't look like I'm speaking to myself. Please, can you all
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, we can hear you and we're following.
All right, thank you. So we need to like understand the concepts, the other side of the music industry, which is like the legal side of the industry. So this makes one thing clear: music is not just an act, it's not just art, but it is also a business governed by law. So sorry, in this presentation we'll like explore how the Nigerian music industry works, the revenue streams, the key stakeholders, the legal protection every artist needs to like succeed in the music industry. So moving forward, because of time, we're speaking on the key stakeholders in the music industry. Who are these stakeholders? What is their duty and responsibility in this music industry? These stakeholders are they include those who have interest or specific role in the music industry. They have deep interest in whatsoever they do in the music industry. So we have the songwriters, we have the composers, we have the performing artists, we have the music publishers. So these people now, starting from the I'll just um briefly explain what these people do as key stakeholders. So starting from the songwriters and composers now, what do? They write lyrics, they write melodies, they do composition of lyrics. The producers, they shape the sound, arrangement, and recording of music. But this won't be possible if they don't have idea of the legal side of in the music industry. So now, moving forward, because of time, I'll be talking about the intellectual property in music work. So now, um, sorry, we should all have idea about the meaning of intellectual property. We can't like just jump into the basket without having a like brief foundation of what we are discussing. So like intellectual property, what is intellectual property? This is entertainment and business, so we should all have an idea. Intellectual property is okay, it deals with property, the materials, copyright, trademarks, patents. So we should, however, intellectual property in music specifically, since we're talking about music, business, and law, intellectual property in music refers to legal rights that protect creative works in the industry. So sorry, when an artist writes a song, produces a beat, or records vocals, they are creating intellectual property. So moving forward, by virtue of Section 28 of the Copyright Act as amended, which provides that the author of a copyright work is the first hand owner of copy of that copyright. So also by virtue of Section 108, which provides that the author of a sound recording is the person who made the arrangement for the recording. So I hope we all understand. So moving forward, I'm talking about the the duration of copyright. We all know that the song that has been sung, the song that has copyright in the 1880s, okay, like 1990s, is some of it would have expired. Some of those copyrights would have expired. So talking about duration now, what is that duration that is in copyright? So in Nigeria, the duration, if you're not aware, the duration of copyright depends on the type of work. For example, music has its own durations, sound recordings, broadcasts, they have their own duration. So the what is that duration now? That's like the time limit for them. Should I use the word expiration or the time limit where the copyright will just expire or go extinct, something like that. So sorry, the duration of copyright lasts for the author's lifetime plus 70 years of for literary, music, and artistic work, and 50 years for production of works like cinematograph, films, photographs, sound recordings, broadcasts. So let me just see what we are referring to now. So duration of copyright for musical work and artistic work is 70 years, while for the publication of works for sound recording is 50 years. So just like I said earlier, duration for copyright depends on the type of work you are dealing with. So hope you understand me. So I'll be talking about sampling now. So in 2019, I saw a case online I'd like to share with you. In 2019, Danny Young brought, I'm talking about sampling now. In 2019, Danny Young brought copyright infringement proceedings against Tiwa Savage. I didn't write the full name of Young, but that's like his industry name, Danny Young. So he brought a copyright infringement proceedings against Tiwa Savage. I know we should be familiar with Tiwa Savage, and for the record label, that's Marvin Records, on the grounds that Tiwa Savage allegedly lifted lyrics from the lifted Oju Tiwon song and used the same in her 2018 song One. So although the parties reportedly settled the matter out of court and the suit was consequently discontinued. So this occurrence is like a clear example of the need for artists like take steps to avoid potential liability when it comes to like creating or producing their songs, like taking a particular lyrics. You might think that okay, we are not the artists, the copyright artists, they're not aware, but they are looking at what is out there. They might be aware. Sometimes it might skip their ear, and sometimes it might get to them that oh, this particular lyric, this particular line, somebody else has taken it, which is very wrong. So one area that could be a pitfall for artists is the issue of sampling. This is what we are talking about now. Sampling. What is this sampling? Sampling is the incorporation of parts of an existing sound recording into the creation of a new recording. That's why I use the case of Danny Young and Tiwa Savage, where Tiwa Savage took like a line from his sound, then used it for our 2018 sound. Then they took the matter out of court, was like out of court matter. Let me just say, then they settled it within each other without taking it to court. My lord, they didn't do that, but it was like let me say like an arbitration matter. Um, between two of them without taking it further to court. So music sampling is the art of taking a portion of an existing recording and incorporating it into a new piece of music. So moving forward, I hope we understand the meaning of sampling now, taking a portion of an existing recording. Okay, so I'll be speaking about financing, royalties, license and licensing in music business. So first of all, I'll pick it step by step. I'll be speaking on music industry financing models. So what is this financing models? Financing models is in the music industry are methods used to like fund music creation, distribution, and promotion, including debt financing and equity financing. So under this financing model in the music industry, we have traditional label financing, we have independent models, we have private equity or that slash investor financing. So because of time, I'll be explaining just one, which is traditional label financing. So this traditional label finance, we have labels provide advanced like cover, recording, marketing, and distribution costs, and artists will pay from future royalties, often leading to debt traps if the contracts are unfair. Emphasis on if the contracts are unfair. So moving forward, because of time, I'll be talking about. Please, can you all hear me?
We can hear you,
Hello.
Courage.
Okay. Moving forward, I'll be talking about royalties in music business. I've been mentioning industry. Well, it's still the same thing. Music royalties in music business. So royalties. What is royalty? So royalties are payments made to rights holder when their music is used, sold, streamed, or performed. So these are payments. Maybe when your music is being used without your consent, before your music should be taken, if it's a copyright music, you have to like pay a royalty to use your song, to sell your song, and to let your song to be performed by another artist. So what are the types of royalties? Our mentor for today, Mr. Kabi, he mentioned one of these type. He mentioned mechanical royalty. So what is this mechanical royalty? Mechanical royalty are royalties gained when music is reproduced, distributed, such as CDs. We all know the CDs, downloads, or streams. These streams, we have streams, let me say like podcasts, the Spotify. We still have streams on Spotify. So moving forward, I'll be talking about synchronization royalties. We have performance royalties, we have print royalties. I'll be discussing just two because of time. Synchronization royalties. So this is a royalty paid when music is licensed for films, adverts, video games, and this is a major income source for Nigerian artists in Nollywood and brand campaign. So moving forward, we're still talking about financing royalties and licensing in music business. So moving forward, we'll be talking about music licensing. So what is this music licensing? Sorry, what is this music licensing? Music licensing is the license use of music, copyrighted music is when you license somebody to like use your music. So music licensing is intended to ensure that the owners of copyright on musical works are compensated for certain uses of their own work. So types of just like we talked about types of royalties, what are the types of music licensing? We have master use license, we have sync license, we have public performance license. We can all go through the definition of these types. So I'll be moving forward because of time. I was given just 7 minutes. So because of time, I'll be talking about the revenue streams in music industry. Sorry, music business. So the revenue, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. Revenue streams in the music industry. So in the music industry, revenue may come directly from an artist, sorry, from an artist's music and performance, or indirectly from the brand and overall popularity. So, sorry. For example, we have music sales and streaming, like money gotten from digital downloads, streaming. We all know this. I believe we should all know this. Like revenue music streams, we have music sales and streaming, live performance, brand marketing and customization. We have licensing and sync deals. We have brand partnership. Let me explain one. We have the music sales and streaming, which is like money gotten from digital downloads, streaming, royalties on platform like Spotify, Apple Music, Boomplay. Then licensing and sync deals. That's the use of songs in films, ads, game, which may be paid upfront or based on royalties. So I'm sorry I'm jumping or I'm rushing. So I just believe we are following. Thank you. So moving forward, I'll be talking on contracts. Contract. What is contract? What is this contract that we all talk about? What is contract? Contract is like the agreement between two or more persons. That's like a general concept of contract. So what is contract? Like music contract. So music contracts are legally enforceable contracts that specify the terms and circumstances of a business relationship or transaction in the music industry. I'll be taking it one more time. Music contracts are legally enforceable contract that specify the terms and circumstances of a business relationship or transaction in the music industry. Sorry, please come to me. Okay. What are the importance of contracts? The importance, just like you see on your screen, the importance of contracts in music industry includes the contract protects the rights of parties involved in the music business. And when I explain this, I will explain this as to ensure that the artists, producers, and record labels retain ownership and control over their creative works. Please hope you all understand me. Okay, the second importance of contracts in music business is that contract mitigate disputes, because if you fail to understand the concept of contract, I'm sorry, you might end up in something rough. So it mitigates disputes, and this like provide legal remedies if parties fail to dishonor their commitment. For example, if you promise to, so if somebody wants to use your song, and the person has promised to pay like $100 on a particular music, and the person like um backs off, like does not keep to that agreement. That is why there is an outstanding contract to fall back on. So this is why the importance of contract is that it mitigates dispute. So let me just go through the importance, just like it's on the screen. It ensures fair compensation, clarifies the obligations of relevant stakeholders. So moving forward, I'll be talking about the case study on importance of contracts. So back in 2016, there was a big clash between Nigerian music legend Two-Face Idibia. I don't know if you're familiar with that name. Two-Face Idibia. I don't know if he's an Afrobeat artist. I don't know, but Two-Face Idibia and his former bandmate. This is Blackface. You might be familiar with Two-Face Idibia, but maybe not Blackface. So Blackface accused Two-Face of copyright infringement, claiming ownership of his hit songs like African Queen and Let Somebody Love You. Now that actually sounds funny. African Queen and Let Somebody Love You. So things got so heated up between Two-Face that Two-Face hit back with a 50 million naira libel suit, and in the end, he settled it out of court. So, situation like this really show why it is important to like have a clear written agreement that spell out who owns what and how everyone gets compensated when it comes to making music. I hope you all understand the concept of contract. So moving on, we have the types of contracts in the music industry. We have recording, agreement is on the screen, is on the slide, in the slide. We have recording agreements, we have publishing agreements, we have management contracts, we have collaboration agreements, we have licensing agreements. Don't let me skip. We have performance contracts. So let me just explain like two. I'm sorry. So publishing agreements, and this under publishing agreement as a type of contract, it assigns rights to for compositions, ensures songwriters in royalties when their song is used. We understand that royalty when money is being paid for your song to be used, for you to sell your song, for your song to be like performed on stage by artists during concerts or so. So it ensures songwriters pay royalties when their song is being used. So we have moving forward, we have collective management. We have collective management. So what is collective management? This collective management is an entity that collects and distributes royalties for the use of a musical work. So this collective um management is popularly known as CMO. That's the organization like that, like a body that guides this collective management. So instead of chasing every radio station, club, or brand that uses their song, the CMO, which is the collective management organization, they do all that heavy lifting for them. So if this case of Danny Young that I mentioned earlier, that I saw that Tiwa Savage used a line in a song, instead of like chasing after him, you can just call this body. They should do their work. They should do his work for him, something like that. So the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, that's the MCSN, is a collective management organization officially recognized by the Nigerian Copyright Commission (NCC), so that represents the rights of music creators for both musical composition and sound recordings in Nigeria. I'm sorry to read like that, but because of time, we're moving forward to the legal framework governing the music business in Nigeria. I think it should be the last slide. So we'll be talking about the legal framework governing the music, the music. We're not done yet, Junkie. Yes, the music business in Nigeria, and this involves a collection of laws, regulations, and contractual practices rather than a single comprehensive law. It's like primarily consists of intellectual property laws, regulatory controls, and commercial contract. Particularly, you cannot talk about music, film, entertainment without mentioning the Copyright Act of 2022 as amended. You must definitely talk about the Copyright Act, and this is one of the legal framework governing music business in Nigeria. We have the the trademark act. So I'm talking about like the trademark act. We should all be familiar with. Okay, no, not the trademark act now. The trademark act is one of the legal framework governing the music industry. We have Companies and Allied Masters Act. We have the National and Video Censors Board Act. So I'm talking about the presentation for on the national film of the one of with during the research, one of the sections, that's section 17, which talks about no person shall exhibit a film or video work unless is please can you all hear me? Okay. No, please can you all
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can. Your volume is, yeah, we can. Your volume is breaking a bit, but we can hear you clearly now.
I'm very sorry. So I was talking on section 17. No person shall exhibit a film or video work unless he is is the holder of the license granted by the board under the Act. Which board are we talking about? I'm talking about the National Film and Video Censors Board, that board. So because I mentioned film and video, you might be thinking that okay, we did film and business law last week. When we're talking, why am I bringing that into our conversation today? Yes, I will talk about that because when we're talking about music, we're talking about film and video too, because when you want to like illustrate what happened in that song, you do it through video, through film. There's this song that perfectly illustrates what happened in the song. That is The Child of the World by Fowls. That song has been sung last. I don't know if that's the title, but Child of the World, something like that. So that song was perfectly illustrated perfectly. When you watch that video, you will see what happened, how that song was sang. You will see yourself in that illustration. So in that video. So why am I mentioning this? Because it is related to music. So let me mention that again. Section 17 of the National Film and Video Censors Board Act provides that no person shall exhibit a film or video work unless he is the holder of a license granted by the board under the Act. So if that person now takes somebody's song and use it in a particular video without the consent, particularly a copyright song, without the consent of the owner of the song, that person has gone against the law, against the law of this board. So I think okay, other regulatory bodies of legal framework governing the music industry in Nigeria is the Nigerian Copyright Commission (NCC), Collective Management Organization, and we have the CAC, that's the Corporate Affairs Commission. I think this will be the end of my presentation. For Group 1, my name remains Courage Omonolawale Ajayi, presenting for Group 1. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, thank you very much, Courage, for your presentation. Well done to both you and to your team members for putting together the presentation and also presenting during class. So we'll be moving forward, and then we'll be taking presentation from Group 2. So please, the Group 2 presenter, if you are with us, you can kindly start your presentation, and then we'll move forward to having Mr. Kabir back again, and we'll just continue with the discourse from there. So please, Group 2 presenter, come on board. Let's start the presentation as soon as possible. Do we have our presenter for Group 2 in class?
Okay, I think I'll just go ahead since I'm a backup presenter. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you. Do you need help with your slides?
Yes, I'll appreciate your help present the slide.
All right, just a moment. All right, please just go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm trying to draw it up right now.
All right, so hi everyone, my name is Olukorede and we'll be discussing on the music business and law. All right, so just to give an introduction to what our presentation will entail. So first off, we have our introduction, right, which addresses key stakeholders in the music business. And then we also address ownership, which discusses who owns the intellectual property rights in a musical work. And then also we are addressing royalties, financing and licenses, right? And then contracts, collective management, and then the legal framework. Okay, so to begin the introduction, right, we know that basically music itself, it's an art, and then it's beyond the entertainment itself. So in the music industry, there's the legal side and there's the business side of things. There's the artistic side of things too, right? So we know that music is made up of several um, sides to it, basically, like the way I said, the business side of things. There are investors, right, in the business side of things. There are the contributors. There are those that keeping the work to run the business, which entails the record labels and everything. So there's the legal side of it, right, where there's the need to create contracts, there's the need to create agreements between the artist and the producer, between the producers and the artists, between the songwriters and the artists, basically to help address the matter of royalty sharing, compensations, and every other agreement that needs to be done. Okay, so moving on to the key stakeholders in the music business, we have, like I said, we have the songwriters and the composers, which are people that basically write the lyrics of the songs, that compose the songs and all. Then we have the performing artists, which entails the artists themselves, the singers, the instrumentalists, the band. Then we have the producers. The producers are the people that basically arrange, record the songs, the beats, and all. Then we have the publishers. The publishers are another set of people basically that basically push out the songs, that puts it out through the music platforms, different digital music platforms. Then we have the record labels. The record labels act like as an like in how do I put it? Like an enterprise basically on behalf of the artists. They help with funding, they help with artist development, they help with marketing, they help with distributions of sound also. So we have the managers. Basically, managers are the people that serve as representative on behalf of the artist, right? They make the best negotiations on behalf of the artists. They basically are the forerunners, let's keep it like that, for the artists. Then we have legal representatives, which are lawyers. They basically handle rights protection, contract creation, and agreements, review agreements, and all that on behalf, and help settle disputes on behalf of the artist, or basically anybody involved within the creation of sounds and all. Then we have the collective management societies. They basically collect royalties on behalf of the songwriters, publishers, and every other person entitled to royalties, right? Then we have the distributors and streaming platforms. Then we have the A&R. Basically, the A&R are persons that source out for talent, right? They help with talent development. They basically the growth and the transition, and then the development of the talents basically in general. So we're moving on to intellectual property in musical work. So we know what intellectual property entails. Basically, it speaks as to the creative work of a person, like of a creative, basically, which entails artists, songwriters, book writers, basically any person involved with intellectual works, creative work, basically, right? So the ownership of music is connected to intellectual property, and then intellectual property rights basically covers the legal rights that protect creative works in the industry, creatives rather in the industry. And then we know that intellectual property rights is governed by the Copyright Act, right? And then And then in the Copyright Act, basically, we know that it covers, for the music side of things, right, we know that it covers musical works, it covers sound recordings, right, and musical works basically entails the beats, the melodies, all of that, right, even the composition basically covers that, the sound recording, which we know that is granted to by, like, is given as masters, right? So those are some of the rights that the Copyright Act seeks to protect. So we know the duration for copyright actually depends on the works, right? It's usually, for an author's lifetime, it's usually 70 years for literary work, musical work, artistic work, and then 50 years for publications like cinematography, films, photographs, sound recordings, broadcasts, etc. Sampling, we move on to sampling, right? So we know that music sampling is the act of taking a portion of an existing work recording and incorporating it into a new piece of music. So, so an example of sampling is, I don't know if you know this song by Thames, right? Okay.
Sorry to cut you, Mr. Olukoride. Please, for which group are you presenting for?
Group 2.
Group 2. Okay. Please go ahead. I think I'm a bit confused trying to follow up with your slide from where you are.
All right. So do I just move ahead?
Yeah, move ahead.
Okay. So I'm just trying to speak generally as to what our work basically entails. I'm not sure I'll be following the slide. Is that okay? Or do I just stick to what we have here?
Please go ahead.
All right. Okay. All right, so I'll just move ahead with financing, royalties, and licensing in music business. Right. In the music industry, we have different financing models, and the first of which is traditional label financing, right? And we know that this involves record labels, right? So in such process, record labels will give what we call advances to artists or producers basically involved in the creation of the sound, the music itself, right? And then in return, when the artist seems to be getting royalties, right? Then they pay for that. They pay their debts basically, let's tag it as debts or the advances that's been given to them. Also, we have the independent model. Basically, that involves the artist self-financing themselves, maybe through their personal savings, brand endorsements, however it seems they seems to get funds. Then we have private equity and investor financing. So that involves getting finances or getting fundings rather from investors, persons that basically organizations that basically invest in the music industry, persons that act as funding agents for those artists in need, basically. And then also we have the streaming economy. So streaming platforms basically have there's something they call pay per play. So depending on the amount of plays an artist gets, right? Streaming platforms could in such give funding basically depending on the number of plays the artist seeks to get. So moving on to royalties in the music business, we have different types. We have the mechanical royalties, we have the performance royalties.
Hello, sir.
We have.
Are you sure you're not reading from Group 1 slide?
No, I'm not.
Please confirm.
Okay. Sorry, give me a moment.
Sorry, I think you actually are because I believe the two were to present on royalties. I don't know. So it seems like there's maybe a bit of a mix up.
Is there any other person in Group 2 that can confirm that he's reading from you people's group?
Okay. Hi, sorry. I think I just went through and then it seemed I was reading from my group, which is Group 1.
Are you in Group 1 or Group 2?
Mr. Korede, are you in Group 1 or 2? We tried to confirm that with you because it seems your work was greatly similar to the work that Group 1 presented. Okay. It seems he's not with us. I don't know. So sorry about that, Mr. Kabir. I think for like the second week, we're having issues with Group 2's presentation. Please, I would like for us to kindly work on that in terms of our presentation. For those who have been assigned to make presentation, please make sure you confirm the materials you're using for your presentation ahead of class so that we can avoid any mix-up during presentation. So just to move on, saying that it's like we don't have any other person to present on behalf of Group 2. We have Mr. Kabir still on the call and also Mr. I'm trying to see if Mr. Tope is still on the call. Mr. Tope Salami, he just joined in. Thank you so much, Mr. Tope, for joining in. We're happy to have
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. We're happy to have you in the session. So before we take feedback, Mr. Kabir, we just want to hear from Mr. Tope, just run through with us his discussion that he has prepared for today's class. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry for coming late. I'm a bit under the weather, so my presentation or my discussion, I'm not here to present. So my discussion will be very time conscious, maybe like 5 minutes. So I've been told to discuss music business and law. I don't need to, and I don't need to. KB, what's up, bro? Good evening. How you doing?
Good evening, Chief. How's it going?
Not bad, bro. So we've been told to discuss music business and the law, and I don't think it's necessary. I define what music is. I don't think it's necessary. I define business and the law. Yeah, but then um, I would like to say for everybody here that doing music is entirely different from doing the business of music. Doing music is synonymous to doing the business of music is synonymous to the slang we usually call the music industry or the creative industry, which is showbiz. Yeah, and it's different because, or it's similar to doing the business of music, because in the creative industry, in most times, probably need to show before you do the business, meaning that um, your next client, would probably be motivated to make certain decisions because of the way he or she sees you, meaning that you always have to be at your best courage at every point in time if you really want to do, the business of music. Now, this topic simply says, what are those considerations, or what is the position of different legislations? Yeah, different legislations. What are the positions of different legislations when it comes to doing the business of music? So I'll try to limit myself to music. Now, the difference between, and I'm going to be very practical right now. The difference between Fela and maybe someone like a Burna Boy right now is that one did the business of music, or one is doing the business of music, the other did not do the business of music. May God rest his soul, and I say this with every form of respect, yeah, to the legendary late Fela. Funny enough, this morning when I woke up, I saw an interview granted by his son, Femi Kuti, where he was saying Fela bought a particular land in Toyin, in Gbemisola, Ikeja. I know that place. I think it's more of a museum now or something. That Fela bought it for 100 naira, yeah? They now showed the graphical stuff of that particular area of Allen and Okwebi and the place, Fela bought his land and built on it, yeah? And Femi said something. He said Fela could have bought the entire Allen Avenue, the entire Okwebi, or maybe the entire street of, of where Fela actually bought the land, yeah? Because at that particular point in time, Fela was making money, but he wasn't doing the business of what he had passions for. So he was just thinking, make money, do this and that. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if someone could buy a a large expanse of land at that time for 100 naira, according to Femi, Fela had the money to have bought that entire Bemisola Street or the entire Okwebi and Allen those days, but he decided, not to do that. The difference between both, yeah, Fela never died a pauper, yeah, but maybe it would have been better at that particular, point in time if things were so crystallized like we have them now. Now, in doing the business of music, some people are exceptionally important in your team. You yourself that has the dream, the entrepreneur. One, the talent, meaning that if you want to do the business of music, it is not a must you are the artist. It is not a must you are the talent. Yeah. The talent is also very important because at the end of the day, if Dangote, sorry, if Dangote, if Dangote is as rich as he is, or if Dangote probably starts doing, okay, let's assume when Dangote started sugar, he didn't have any consumer to buy, or he didn't have nobody to buy. What will happen at the end of the day? It's going to run at loss, and it might probably become a pauper. I'm using Dangote, not the Dangote we know, but the Dangote that is probably trying, to enter the business line, or the Dangote who is trying to make agriculture, who is trying to make agriculture a business, yeah? Dangote will not be Dangote if there are no consumers of his product. The owner of a label would never be the owner of the label if there is or there are no artists, yeah, signed on the label. Another important thing is your entertainment lawyer. Another important thing would definitely be another person that understands the way PR work, that understands the management of the business, because the artist is now the product. The artist is is the reason why everybody is doing business. At the end of the day, if you don't have the product, what do you want to do business with? Sorry. What do you want to do business with? Now, I'm not saying we don't have other people, yeah. All I'm saying is that these are like the most important, elements that must be in your formula. I'll probably use a bit of I think I have some slides there. I might use a bit of it or not. Now, there are things that the music industry is a very powerful ecosystem, yeah? And you as a creative that wishes to, do the business of music, there are so many ways you can make your money. You can make your money either the performing artist / a touring artist. You can make your money by being a songwriter alone. You can, of course, still make your money by being a label exec. A good example here would be Bella Shmurda, who is signed, who has a deal with an entity and has gotten a raw talent called Fola. And Fola, or the business of Bella, now broker a particular deal on behalf of Fola with another label. Meaning that at the end of the day, you as the talent can also function as the businessman in the music industry. We have people like the band. We have people like the band. We have people like Don Jazzy. We have people like Banky W. I mean, a whole lot. And we're having more, We're having more by the day. So if you are here and you think that, oh, the only way you can actually make money is if you sing or you become a performing artist, I'm just trying to let you know that there are other parts of the ecosystem that will still enable you make money while you are probably not performing, on the stage. Now, aside from this, key thing, in doing the business of music, there are various things you can, tap into. You can tap into, I'm not going to talk about the popular one, which is the mechanical side of it. Oh, your money is coming from Spotify, Apple. No. You can tap into publishing. You can tap into songwriting. You as a creative, you can also tap into event planning as well, yeah? And a whole lot. The slide here says, oh, okay, songwriters, key stakeholders in the music business, okay? Songwriters, performing artists, producers, music publishers, and all, yeah? I'm so interested in songwriting right now because people are now, gone are those days where or when an artist would probably be scared to tell the fans that, oh, I did not write this song, or somebody wrote this particular song for me. Things are changing by the day. I like what is happening in the gospel industry as well. But guess what? Songwriters are also finding their way. It might be slow. They're also finding their way into the gospel, side of music. It might be slow because our people in most cases they like spiritualizing almost everything. And I was having a discussion with someone, big in the gospel music industry, and the person was like, no, 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 I don't need a songwriter. I was like, why? The person said, because his song usually come from, a kind of inspiration, meaning that the person would probably wait for God to minister to him or her before getting into the studio. And in my head, I was like, I may understand that part, but trust me, the gospel music industry is going from the point of our gospel artists receiving honorarium to now receiving the proper performance fee. I was at a concert in Birmingham on Saturday, and yeah, I was in another one in London on Sunday, and I can tell you for free that the world, even in the gospel industry, is moving bit by bit from what it's known for. The world is opening up. Our gospel artists are now challenging our secular artists on the chart. Example would be the popular song "No Turning Back" with Lawrence Oyor. That song is as stubborn as anything. Why? It is still part of the most viewed videos on YouTube. It is still a bit on the chart, and that is that is a gospel music. The A&R, they are also very important. I think I made mention of that earlier. The collective management, the CMOs, the collective management organizations are also important because they would majorly take care of a reasonable percentage in your publishing problem. And by the way, I'm sure we all know that music publishing is one of the big deals right now because it's more or less like knowing there is crude oil somewhere. A few persons are noticing the crude oil, but most people still do not understand how to tap, the crude oil. And that is why sometimes as a creative business, as a music business, as a music exec, sometimes you have to pay for the knowledge. Sometimes you have to pay for, consultation. Sometimes you need to get a consultant. I mean, we've got my brother here, KB, doing amazing work. My other people back home doing, amazing work. Intellectual property. Sorry. Another thing that is very important in the creative industry, particularly the music industry, is money. I will use the word money rather than finance, yeah? And I'm saying money is very important because the space is becoming choked and competitive, not on a daily basis, but in like every 1 hour, it's becoming more stiff, it's becoming more competitive, it's becoming extremely toxic, and it is becoming unbecoming of what we used to be. Meaning that let no one deceive you, you don't need money. Meaning that when you request for funds from anybody, from the creative or from the team of the creative, it is not that you want to collect their money. But of course, you've got an album, or maybe you've got a song, you need to do your marketing well, marketing/PR. You've got people to pay, maybe your producer, maybe you've got a songwriter or songwriters, maybe you've got people that even did backup for you. Then when the product is finished, you also need to, take it out for distribution, and that is where the real work starts. because who are you to say you don't want to promote your money, you don't want to promote your work when our big stars like Burna Boy, Wizkid, David, when they spend thousands of dollars, thousands of pounds, in trying to do proper marketing for their song, yeah? There are ways we can get funding. There are ways, there are ways we can get money. If you are doing the music business, yeah, there are ways you can get money. The world is opening up to finally recognizing catalogs, finally recognizing a body of work, finally recognizing any work of IP as a collateral right now. And it is very good. I remember those days, Masters Unilag. I don't know if anyone knows Professor Smith. My group had a presentation one day, and I was convincing the class to say, bro, IP can be more important than you having a building in trying to use that IP as a collateral to get funding or to get financial support. People were laughing, but I thank God is happening now. So to get funding, we've got advances. It depends on the kind of advance that has come to you. You can get you can get advance from the publishing leg. You can get advance from the masters or the mechanical leg. Of course, you can also get funds from shows. Now things are opening up. Organizations are now giving grants to creatives. Of course, the wise ones amongst them. Aside from grants, of course, your royalty is definitely a part of your funding. Yeah, we have traditional label financing. Normal, the owner of the label spending his money, which is similar to or which is close to the independent model. Yeah, private equity / investor financing, streaming economy. I would also like to add, it is not just private and investor financing alone. Even the government. But I'm not going to use Nigeria as an example, or I won't use Africa as an example. The government is also, doing their bit to make sure that some governments are doing their bit to make sure that, they support, the music industry. Currently, I think Justin Bieber recorded or made his album in a country called Iceland. Yeah. When I broke into the reason, I realized that the government in Iceland, there is a kind of support they give creatives. Now, there is a kind of support they give creatives who are non-resident in that particular country. The UK government too is not doing bad. The American government are not doing bad. The Canadian government are not doing bad as well. Meaning that government support or government finance or financing model can also work. What else? I think I've discussed this while speaking earlier. Royalties, revenue. Where can you get your revenue? What type of revenue, or royalties is available to a creative or to a music exec doing the business of music. You've got the mechanical royalties, performance royalties, synchronization royalties. I think most people, they probably don't know that the money you are being paid for show can fall into the categories of royalties too. In most cases, by the time you check the definition of royalties, I think that would, answer the question. Um, Music licensing, I can see it here. Music licensing either be, in most cases, it is exclusive for the content that the licensee needs it for. It doesn't mean you cannot. I can license African Queen to a movie today. I can license African Queen to a movie by 1 p.m. and by 1 after 1 p.m. the same day, I can still license the same African Queen to another movie. Yeah. Over time, most people didn't probably understand this particular principle, and I realized some people usually see it as a kind of opportunity, yeah, when their songs are being used in movies. Until some years when their eyes started, opening up to say, oh, you can actually make cool money from this. Because at the end of the day, by the time they pay you your licensing fee, by the time they pay you your licensing fee, there are some types of royalties, I remember the name, that you would probably start earning after 1 year or 2 years. I remember the name. I've done that before and it has worked for me and it is still working. Types of music licensing. Okay, master use sync licensing. Whether we like it or not, licensing is licensing, and it is somebody paying for, or somebody paying for the usage of a part of your IP in a moving picture, or they might want to use it in a show. And this makes a whole lot of sense for creatives, particularly owners of copyright, because at the end of the day, we have producers, we have creatives in Nigeria that over 1 year, or within a space of 1 year, KB can bear witness to this, within a space of 1 year, it will show as low as 100, between £100,000 to maybe £300,000 for music licensing. Yeah, of course, so many things will determine what the consideration will be. Whatever will determine what the consideration will be will also make parties agree as well. Another important thing is, of course, your contract is very important. I keep telling people, if you consult a lawyer and gobe happens at the end, if you are coming to me, or if you are going to any other entertainment lawyer, let me say if you are coming to me, I am going to triple charge you. Why? I'm going to triple charge you because you are probably bringing a problem I did not create, or a problem I did not envisage. And the sad thing about it is that problems like that will always be very nasty, because the person that must have drafted, or the person that must have reviewed, yeah, might have happened to be a non-entertainment lawyer, and there would have been so many things in the contract that you being an entertainment lawyer right now, you have to now think outside the box to find a way to manage, the conflict, or the situation that your supposed new client, must have brought, to you. I don't think I need to go into the types of contracts we have in the music business, because that should have been covered, earlier. But then, publish in everything you do in this music industry. Just make sure that you have a contract. Make sure that the minds of everybody must have met before issuing a contract, and make sure that you don't go for a lawyer. You don't go for the law. You need to go for an entertainment lawyer. Don't get it twisted. Some IP lawyers, I apologize if, some IP lawyers try to function as entertainment lawyers. But the truth is, IP is just a leg in what we do as entertainment lawyers. Trust me, IP is just a leg. And that is why sometimes we've we've had we've had situations where, oh, who is that person? Oh, the person is an IP lawyer. Oh, fantastic. By the time you check the documents, you would realize that the only thing the person might be fighting for would be the ownership of the client's IP, or the ownership of the client's IP, or for the client to have, a reasonable level of control or a reasonable percentage in the music business that the client is doing. But trust me, it goes beyond somebody having control, on it goes beyond an artist having control on his IP rights. It goes beyond that in this music business era. Yeah. You can have control over your IP, and you can have a clause. You can have a clause in that same agreement that will tell you that you have a control over it, and but once you leave the label, you cannot perform the song anyway. I've seen contracts like that. At the end of the day, imagine the songs they are telling you not to perform anywhere are your hit songs, are your hit tracks. Now, the IP lawyer might have, with every form of respect, I'm not trying to throw shades or anything. I'm just trying to use my own the experience, that the little experience I have, and real life situations I've come across. So I'm also a student here. I may be wrong and I may be right. Yeah. Now, but then because the person is IP now, person was just particular about that thing. The person is not particular about any other stuff. So that is why in most cases when they say, oh, he's a music lawyer or he's an entertainment lawyer, it is not from the angle of knowing the book alone. It is from the angle of understanding the business side of it, trying to make a good decision for your talent, trying to make sure that after the deal, during the deal, or even before any deal, your talent is not as miserable as, the other party might want, the talent to be. Um, I think I really do not have much to say, and I would probably bounce out right now so I can take care of my health very well. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tope, for your take and your wonderful insights. Everything you shared during this session. We really, really sincerely do appreciate. We once again say sorry about your health. We wish you a very speedy recovery. So we want to get back to Mr. Kabir. All right, Mr. Kabir, we want to hear from you in the next few minutes. Just give your take based off of the presentation, and if there are other things you would like for us to know,
Sorry,
or
again.
just
If there are questions, if there are questions, my mail is open. I can get those questions in my email, then I answer, or anyone. But if you want to ask any question now, you can before I leave. I think I have 3 minutes. And
all
my
right.
mail is open as well.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Tope just before he goes? Any question from Mr. Tope? Okay. I doubt we do, sir.
If there are no
So maybe
questions, let me bounce.
Yeah, so maybe if any question arises, please you can all share your questions with us. We will do all to forward them to Mr. Tope. And I'm sure once he's able to respond, those questions or the answers will be forwarded back to you. So back to Mr. Kabir. Please, sir, do you still have any further thing you would like to contribute? And based off of the presentation you had, if you would like to share any more some of your concerns or into the presentation.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. So, Mr. Tokwe has really touched on so many things. I mean, he's a great tutor, he's a great mentor of mine, and he can just call me and just start speaking, and you'll just be wondering, man, this man is full of so much knowledge, and I think you guys are so lucky to have had him here. So back to the group presentation, right? I think group one did very great with their presentation. I liked the fact that they did some research. I mean, we are all in the process of learning, right? So there, of course, there are rooms for adjustments and development and progress, but they did amazing. And I'll just comment on a couple of things that I noticed, which I would just like them to take notes because of going forward, of course. So with respect to the sampling, the part where Courage was trying to define sampling, right? I think there has been this long-standing misconception about what sampling is actually, and many people don't still understand what the difference is between sampling and interpolation. So interpolation is when you are lifting the lyrics or the melody of another person in an existing song and putting it, or you are rewarding it, or you are or you are performing it in your own song. I'll take that again. So when you're lifting the lyrics or the melody of someone else who has earlier released a work and you are putting it in your own new work, that is interpolation. But in the instance where you are chopping or you are cutting or you are what's other word? Say you are cutting or you are chopping the particular existing work entirely, the way it is, the way it sounds, everything, the way it sounds in the original work, and you are putting it on your own work. That is what sampling is. I will give an example. So, a typical example of interpolation is Love Me Jeje. I heard Olu Korede, or is it Olukayode, trying to say that example of sampling is Love Me Jeje. No, that's not correct. Example of interpolation is Love Me Jeje, and I'm going to explain. So Thames in our own new work was saying Love Me Jeje, Love Me Tender, Love Me Jeje, Love Me Tender, whereas there was an original work by Sheyi Shodimo, I think in 1999, where he also used the same set of words, the same set of melody, right? So that is interpolation because Thames just re-recorded that particular part from an existing song. Do you guys understand? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we heard
Yeah.
you and we understand.
Okay. So from an existing song, and she heard that part and she recorded it in her own voice. So that is interpolation. But an instance where we have a song like Active by Ashake, and you're hearing something like Majo, fine girl, and you know that that is not Ashake's voice. That is Adewale Ayuba's voice. So that means Ashake has cut or chop Adewale Ayuba's voice from his own original song, and Ashake has put his Adewale Ayuba's voice on Ashake's new song, Active. So that is a typical example of what sampling is. Do you guys understand the difference now?
Yes, sir.
So where you are recording another person's work, another person's existing work in your own voice, that is interpolation. But where you are chopping or you are cutting their existing work and you are using their voice on your own new work, that is sampling. I just needed to clarify that. Also, I heard that speak to the different kinds of investment that we have in the music industry. Of course, the list is endless. So what you as lawyers should just be focusing on when you are seeing all this kind of investments. I mean, the most common thing you should focus on all these types is the duration of the investment, the kind of model the investment is going to adopt. If the investor is coming as someone that, oh, I want to invest in your music and I want to own all the rights to the music, right? So if you're on the side of the artist, is that something you are willing to accept? What is the status of your client at that particular time? Is your client as big as Wizkid, or your client is still up and coming, right? So you have to consider all that before you can assign the rights to the music. Also, you have to look at the term, some other terms like, oh, is this person dropping some money? How is he going to get his investments back? What's the ROI? Is there any particular percentage that is requesting for? Is this over the month? Can we negotiate? Of course, all these are negotiable. So there's just all these things that you have to always have your mind to whenever you see any investment agreement at all. So whether it's a record deal, whether it's a normal investment agreement, just someone that has cool cash and they feel like, oh, they just want to like put into some artist career who they have an impression that is going to blow in the next 2 to 3 years and all. So all that. Then there was this part about synchronization royalty, right? I kind of have a situation with that because I don't think there's anything like synchronization royalty. What I know is in existence is synchronization fee. So synchronization basically is, synchronization license is basically when you're granting another person or a company or an entity the rights to be able to use your song in their movie, in their video game, in their adverts, maybe commercials, right? So there's a particular fee that they are going to pay you at that particular time that, okay, this particular song you are granting us the access to be able to use. We are paying you this particular fee and that is it. So any other royalty that you'll be getting from that transaction is called performance royalty, which is collected by your PRO, Performance Rights Organization, whether it is MCSN, BMI, ASCAP, CESAC, IMRO, COSON, SACEM. There are a lot of them throughout the whole world, right? So what's the back-end royalty that is collected on that particular transaction? Maybe that particular movie now is Everybody Loves Jennifer. So every time Everybody Loves Jennifer is publicly displayed in cinemas, there's a back-end royalty that is going to come to you through your PRO. That one is the one that is called performance royalty. So every time your song is publicly performed, you're getting a particular royalty called performance royalty, right? So it should be synchronization fee. And this particular synchronization fee, how do you share it? We had earlier mentioned that, oh, in music, there are two rights. And in music, right, we have the composition, we have the sound recording, or the masters, right? So who are the persons that are entitled to receive um, uh, uh, a percentage on the composition side or the publishing side? And who are the persons that are entitled to receive a percentage on the sound recording or the master side? So the people that are entitled to receive a percentage on the composition side are the songwriters and the producer. The people that are entitled to receive on the master side, the artist, the record label, if there's a featured artist, and also producer. Depends on how many percentage they decide to give producer on masters. So let's take for an example now. There's a budget by Funke Akindele for Everybody Loves Jennifer, and she said that budget is 1,000 naira for using a song. Let's say the song is Joy is Coming. So she uses Joy is Coming in Everybody Loves Jennifer, and she tells whoever she's meeting, maybe Fido's management or something, that, oh, our budget is 1,000 naira for this particular film, all in. So the all the contributors, all the people that I earlier mentioned, has to share that particular 1,000 naira. And that means that 1,000 naira will be divided into two sides, which is the composition side and the master side. The people on the composition side are sharing 500 naira. The people on the master side are sharing 500 naira. So the people on the composition side, maybe the producer is entitled to 50 percentage of the publishing of the composition. That means he's getting 250 naira. And maybe there's one songwriter or there are two songwriters, they are sharing the remaining 250 naira. For the master side, there's also 500 naira on the table. Everybody that's entitled to money on that particular song on the master side, they are sharing according to whatever it is that they had earlier agreed upon the release of that particular song. So that's one of the reasons why it's very important for creatives or artists and producers to always have contracts immediately they want to release music, so that when all these opportunities are coming to the table, there won't be issues as to, oh, I'm the artist in this song. I want to take all the money. I don't want to share it with anybody. But where all these terms are defined upon release of that song, or even before the release of the song, it's going to reduce or it's going to mitigate disputes, just like one of the presenters mentioned the other time. So basically, that's how synchronization license works, right? What else? Also, publishing agreements. I just wanted to define what publishing is. So publishing is more relating to the composition side of music. So, and the publisher is someone that just manages and caters for the incomes that are generated from the publishing side of that particular music. So, what are the incomes that are generated from the publishing side of the music? Maybe performance royalties, synchronization incomes that are collected on the publishing side. Which other one? Basically, performance royalties, synchronization income. There may be opportunities. They could be looking for opportunities to build the catalog. There are just many things that the publisher can decide to be doing for the songwriter or the producer. So basically, I believe that's the comments I would have for group one. Group two, I didn't really understand what they were trying to. There was some issues, so I couldn't follow. I think that's all. So I'll just take questions now.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kabir, for your feedback. So not to waste any time, can we get questions from Mr. Kabir? Do we have questions we would like to ask our mentors? I'm sure there are certain things within the music industry that we want to know about, that want to find out. And I am sure that as maybe a practicing lawyer or somebody who is also a creative, right? You want to know how best to take advantage of, of the business side to music, right? So please, if you have questions, you can go ahead and ask. Do we have questions? You can indicate by raise of hands, and then I'll call you on to ask your questions. You can also drop your questions in the chat box, and I'll read them. Do we have questions? Do we have questions? Okay. If there's nobody with questions, I would want us to, okay, Mariam, you can go ahead and ask your question. Mariam, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, sir. So I didn't get the sampling and interpolation part clearly. My network cut at that part.
Can someone explain it so I can be sure that everyone gets it?
Okay, you
Hello?
said for okay.
Hello?
Ufoma, you
Sorry,
can
I
go
was
ahead.
trying to explain it. Okay,
All right,
so
you
I
can.
think, all right, thank you. I think you said interpolation is where, for example, something was said in a song, a particular line or a unique phrase or something like that was said in a song, and then by artist A, and then artist B uses that same phrase in their own song. It's a unique phrase, probably unique and identifiable to song A. So artist to song A by artist A. But artist B uses that same unique phrase in song B, their own voice and all of that. But I believe you from your explanation, sampling is when the artist B does not just say the same thing that was said in song A, but artist B copies, basically like cuts and uses the voice of artist A in song A. The person now uses it in their own song, as opposed to when they just use their mouth and their own voice to say that thing. They actually cut out or use that same person's voice, like they cut out what the person said with the person's own voice instead of their own voice in their song. I think that's what he said sampling was.
Miriam, do you understand now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And also, if I can add, so when I don't know if you guys know about this particular issue that happened, I think sometime last year, Peter Okoye, P Square, and what's the name of this artist? This female artist, Dako. Is it Dako? Is it Dako? I think Dako, yeah. So I think it's Dako, yeah. P Square and Dako. I think Dako sampled one of their songs, one of their old songs, whether it's Ifunaya or something, in a new song, and she probably did not clear properly, right? So how do you clear all these rights to be able to? How do you clear all these rights to be able to use it in your own new work? So for sampling now, we understand that the new artist is chopping or cutting the entire or a part of an original work or of an old work into their new work, right? So that means all the rights that those contributors have is being copied into the new work. So the rights on the master side and the rights on the composition side. So that means she has to reach out to every contributor on that particular song for sampling, whether on the master side or composition side, the songwriter, the producer, the artist, the record label, everybody, she has to reach out to all of them to tell them that, oh, I want to use this particular song, and all of them has to grant the use. If one person does not grant the use, that means she cannot go ahead to use it in her new work. That's for sampling. What about for interpolation? We understand that she will just be repeating what someone has said in their former work or in their old work. So an example is Love Me Jeje. If Thames did not reach out to the songwriter because it is only the composition side in interpolation now. If she did not reach out to the songwriter or the composer of that particular old work, so it's going to be hard for her to be able to properly repeat what the person said in their old work. So they could just come after her with lawsuit that, oh, she's repeating or she's performing their old song without their authorization. Do you guys understand?
Yes, sir, we do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, sir. There is a question on the chat box from Mowink Mowinki. Sorry if I didn't get your name very well. The question is, what advice as a lawyer can you give to a songwriter that wants to go into publishing, the necessary steps to take?
Okay, so if you are a songwriter right now, so that means you are self-publishing, right? You're expected to be doing everything yourself. So the first thing you do is you register with a particular performance rights organization, whether it is your MCSN in Nigeria or it's BMI in US, in SACEM, there's CESAC, there's IMRO. There are so many of them around the world. Depends on the one that you are comfortable with, right? And the one that their system of service align with you, right? So that's the first thing. You register with them. Then you continue to upload your musical works and expect to get royalties from them. And also, as a self-publishing songwriter, you be on your laptop almost 24 hours to be looking for opportunities yourself, trying to look for synchronization opportunities, maybe where a particular advert, a particular film production that they can use your musical work in their production or in their project, right? So that's you doing all that yourself. But if you are now trying to stop or you are tired of doing all this yourself, you can now engage an entity called a publishing company. So this publishing company will be the one to be doing all these things for you, all these things that I've mentioned to you. They'll be the one interfacing with your PRO. You can interface with your PRO even if you have a publisher, but they can do it on your behalf. They'll collect your royalties and disburse it to you. They will be the one to be looking for opportunities, synchronization opportunities for you. They will be the one to just make sure that the composition parts of your song, the catalog you are trying to build is properly monetized, right? Do you understand? So you just have to make sure you're registered with the PRO. You probably engage a publishing company. I believe there are so many publishing companies that are free, that the registrations are free, that you can engage right now. There's Centric, there's which other one? There are so many of them actually. There's Centric. I mean, they just escaped my head right now. I was trying to remember. So there are just a lot of them. Just go online, just check for different music publishing companies. You will see a lot of them online. You just have to be very strategic with the kind of contract that you're signing with anybody at all, whether publishing company or any other company at all. Just be very calculative. Okay, if you're signing 3 years with someone or with a particular company, do they have the service? You read through their contract, read through their terms of service. Is it possible for you to be able to terminate your contract at any time of your choice? Do you understand? So you have to have that right. You have to make sure that you have all those rights before you even sign anything at all. And if you know that, oh, you don't have the right to terminate, there are some contracts that are built to in such a way that you cannot even terminate until maybe after 2 years into the contract. If you're someone that is comfortable with it, I mean, you can go for it. But if you are someone that you feel like, oh, your music is so great and you're going to be a big thing the next 1 year, right? And you just need someone to be put to be catering to your affair right now, to be managing your catalog right now. You should not sign more than a 1 year contract. I believe that's the way to go.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for helping us with that question. We have two more questions on the chat box. The second question here is, how can one position themselves as an entertainment lawyer and negotiate a better deal on behalf of their clients?
Negotiation, I believe, is a skill, right? Negotiation is a skill, and whether you're a lawyer or you're not, you just have to build that skill. There are so many. I mean, that's why there's um, this what is it called? Talks about our African mothers having the best negotiation skill, right? So it's best for you as an entertainment lawyer to know that, oh, you're representing a particular client. I believe the knowledge of that particular thing you're doing too is very vital. So if you're negotiating a record, you'll be very sure.
Hello, sir, you're done with that question, right?
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry, I had a call. So you just have to be very knowledgeable uh about that particular field or about that particular transaction you are working on that particular time, whether it's a publishing deal, recording deal, distribution deal, investments, so many of them, licensing, you have to be very knowledgeable about it. If you are not so knowledgeable, read about it, consult someone, ask what the best industry practice is, because there is no particular law that states that, oh, you are entitled to 50 percentage as a producer, but there are industry practices, industry acceptable industry standards that says that, oh, as a producer on a particular work, you're entitled to 50% on publishing and so many other things, so many other basic terms. So you just have to consult someone that maybe has done it before. That way you get to know how to go about your task.
All right, thank you very much, sir. The next question here is, what legal steps can a lawyer take when a client wants to release an album or EP or song, but is being restricted by their record label?
Uh, what's legal steps? I'm trying to read and understand the question. What do you mean by restricted? That's what I'm struggling to. Do you mean the artist is restrained from releasing, or you? What do you mean by restricted? Can the person just probably speak or something?
Okay, Esther, please, you can go ahead and unmute and maybe better explain your question so that we can have an answer to your question. But while we wait for that to happen, the next question we have here is okay, Esther, are you trying to unmute?
Yeah, what I actually mean is that maybe yes, he's like being stopped by his record label. Maybe he's not really popular, or there's somebody else that um wants to release in the same timeline with him, and they are trying to like hold him back. I don't know.
Okay,
So
I understand. Okay, I got it. So I think I've had that situation before, and I was representing the artist. So I think the first thing to do is to review what the contract says. So does the contract say that, oh, there's going to be some some days or some times that the record label can decide that, oh, for a period of 6 months we can restrain you from releasing music, or according to our calendar, because usually most of these record labels usually have their calendars that they work with, right? So it's best for you to start with the contract. But if the contract is silent on that, you as the lawyer of the artist can go ahead to write to the artist to notify the artist that this person is being restrained from releasing their record. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, sir, we
yes,
can
sir.
hear you.
Okay, so this person is being restrained from releasing their music, and it contradicts the material. It's a material breach of the contract, because what is the purpose of the recording deal when the artist is just recording and not releasing the music, right? So it's also some sort of captivity of their creative freedom. So you can word it that way, write to them, and if the contract is one that allows for you to be able to terminate if there's a breach, right? After a period of time, maybe you write to them today and you give them 30 days notice for them to cure the breach, or 15 days notice, and they didn't cure it within that period of time, you can just decide to terminate the contract. It's as simple as that.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I hope, Esther, you were able to get an answer to your question.
Yes, I think.
All right, so the last question here, and the last question we'll be taking for today is, how can one who is not a lawyer apply this knowledge if they want to go into music business?
Sorry, so if you are someone that is a lawyer, and you're trying to be in the music business, right? So that means you are. I'll call you. So that means you are either.
But you want to change it.
Yeah, I'll call you. So that means you're either a manager, or you are a record label owner or something. So I believe that everything that we've said today should kind of give you an insight to some certain things that you should look out for as a stakeholder in the music industry, right? So if you need any knowledge, or how to utilize this knowledge that we've shared today.
Okay, I don't think we quite got you on the last points you made, sir, but I am sure
Hello?
maybe, yeah, can you hear me,
Was I
sir?
speaking? Hello?
You were speaking, but your mic was muted at some point. We're not hearing you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I was saying that it's either the person that asked the question is asking on behalf of someone that is a manager, a record label boss, or or any other person in the music industry that's not a lawyer, of course. So it's best for them to read more in particular about what they want exactly, so that they will be able to utilize that particular knowledge. Because if all the things we've been discussing has been more tilted towards the legal aspects of the music business, right? We've been speaking to lawyers and also if you're a manager and you're trying to just learn more as to one particular thing, maybe your role, your responsibilities as a manager, I believe you just have to do some research on your own and build your knowledge around it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, we do. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kabir, for helping us answer our questions. We really, really do appreciate the time you have shared with us in class, and also your shared thoughts and experience with us. We also thank Mr. Tope in absentia, right, for his time and his shared thoughts. Just before we go, I should have done this earlier, but please, if you have enough lighting in your background, please can you turn on your videos so that we can take a quick screenshot for today's class for all the mentees that are still present, so that we can call it a day in class. Please, if you can turn on your videos, let's do that quickly and end the session. Thank you, Deborah. Can we have more people turn on their videos? We really appreciate if we have more people who collaborate. Thank you. Thank you, Courage. Thank you. All right. Do we still have more people who can turn on their videos? All right, so we've come to the end of today's session officially. It has been an interesting discourse from both mentors that we've had in class today. That's Mr. Topet Salami and Mr. Kabir Adeyemo. We look forward to having you in other sessions to discuss music business and law. But for now, we say a big thank you for everything that you have shared with us in today's class. And we hope that for the mentees down the call, they are able to turn this knowledge into more practical realities, as they push to develop or build a career in the entertainment industry, or in entertainment business overall. So with that, we've come to the end of today's session. Please do well to fill in the attendance when it is sent to you. And also do not forget to share what you have learned on your different social media platforms. Don't forget to tag our mentors also. That's the mentors we had in class today, Mr. Kabir and also Mr. Tope Salami. And with that, see you all in next week's class. Look out for your tasks and assignments. And please, let's try our possible best to follow through with our tasks. If you've been given a task or you are assigned a task, please try as much as possible best to follow it through to the end. All right. Good night, everyone, and God bless.